Hello, Burst users. My name is Sharon Kim, and I'm with the Center for Early Reading at Amplify. This video provides you with insight on how to deliver Burst instruction. This module is going to assume that you have watched the Burst Overview module and the Prepping for Burst Lessons module. If you haven't watched these two modules, take some time to view them prior to viewing this video. Also, make sure you have your handout handy. We'll review it as we go along. In this module, we'll discuss the Burst Look-Fors and reflect on why each is important to student progress. We'll also analyze exemplar teaching videos and identify some of the most essential interventionist actions that accelerate students' progress. Think about everything you've learned about Burst to date and the activity we read in the Prepping for Burst module. It's in your handout, so take a moment to refer to it. It's called Middle Sound Segmentation. What are some of the things you would expect to see if you were to walk into a Burst intervention session? Enter your answers in the lower left chat window. Some of the things you might have said are teachers delivering an engaging script, but in an engaging way, instruction that's targeted to the needs of the small group, or students who are engaged and learning. Through our work with schools across the country, we've been able to put together look-fors that describe Burst instruction by those who have students growing twice as fast as their grade level peers and are catching up. In this session, we're going to use these look-fors to analyze the delivery of two activities. Go to your handout and find the look-fors you downloaded prior to this session. Then, take a moment to read the look-fors and note any questions or comments you have and enter them into the chat box. Let's see if we can spot some of these look-fors in some activities. In your handout, you'll see two activities, one for middle sound segmentation accuracy and the other for walk it out, phoneme segmentation accuracy. In this session, we're going to see how each of these activities are delivered by an instructor, and we're going to use the look-fors to critique the delivery of the activities. We'll start with middle sound segmentation. Middle sound segmentation accuracy probably looks familiar to you. We reviewed it in our Prepping for Burst Lessons module. Take a minute to review the activity in your handout. Now, let's see how this activity is delivered. I'm going to play the first 5 minutes of the activity. Then we'll go back and go clip by clip discussing particular sections.
How are you guys doing? Good. Okay, great. All right, so today we're going to start with a game, and we're going to pretend that we're sound detectives, okay? So I'm going to show you guys some pictures, and we're going to need to find some pictures to fill up our bag. So I'm going to say a sound, and I want you to find which picture has the sound in the middle, okay? So here we go. So my turn first. Okay, my turn first. So I would like to find a picture that has the sound A in the middle. My turn first. So I'm going to be a good sound detective. Which picture has A in the middle? Found it. Fish.
No.
Ish.
Yes.
Yes. Fish has A in the middle, right?
Oh, I like that.
Ish. Fish. So we're going to put it in our bag. All right? Okay, let's work on the next one. So raise your hand if you know the next one. But I haven't said the sound yet, so how are you raising your hand? Okay, the next one I would like you to find, sound detectives, is the picture that has aw in the middle. So be a good sound detective and look around. Which one has aw in the middle? Krisa.
Dog.
Dog. That's right. Which sound has ah in the middle? Sutini.
Cat.
Cat.
There's two.
You guys are so good. I'm going to add all of the pictures then.
Dog.
Alright. Alright. Which picture has aw in the middle? Emery. Car. Say car. You're right. The sounds in car are k, r. And what sound did I ask for? Aw. Say aw. Aw.
Car has
Say k, r. R. Do you hear all in k, r? No. Nice try though. Do you want to try again? Which card is that?
I know what it is.
It's a rat.
I know it's a mouse.
Well, you know what? I really love how you're giving her a chance and waiting for her to get a turn. Tell me the sounds in rat.
Rat.
What's the middle sound in rat?
Ah.
Ah, but I asked for all. Let me try to help you out. Look at these two. which one has the ah sound in the middle? What's the picture? So how do you use that one?
It's a fox.
Okay, so here, this is.
It's just a guess.
It's a guess. So let's not guess, because we're trying to be sound detectives, right? And the detective, they're not trying to guess. They're trying to get the right one. So this is 6, and this is fox.
Fox.
Which one has ah in the middle?
Fox.
Fox. That's right. Thank you.
I can show.
Yeah. Okay, put it in the bag.
Don't put it
Okay. Which one has the ah sound?
hat.
Hat. You want to grab it?
Oh, like
Want to help it? Put it in the bag. Right.
what?
Which one has the, thank you for sitting down. Which one has the sound in the middle? Roxy.
Duck.
Duck. Right. Which one has the ah sound in the middle? Sutini.
Ma.
Ma.
I'm now going to go back and play the beginning. Before I do that, read the questions on the slide.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Okay, great. All right, so today we're going to start with a game, and we're going to pretend that we're sound detectives, okay? So I'm going to show you guys some pictures, and we're going to need to find some pictures to fill up our bag. So I'm going to say a sound, and I want you to find which picture has the sound in the middle, okay? So here we go.
How you trying? Like 144. Or 50.
So my turn first, okay? My turn first.
Take a moment to share your thoughts on the questions. Please enter them in the chat box. Here's my take on the clip. At the start of the lesson, you see that Florence is reading the lesson from her laptop. She has her materials, the cards, ready and quickly puts them on the table. This is a quick start. Within 50 seconds, she's starting to model the lesson. With this type of start, she sets the tempo and puts herself in a position to make it through the lesson. Let's move on to part 2, during which Florence completes the model portion. Before I hit play, read the questions.
So my turn first, okay? My turn first. So I would like to find a picture that has the sound A in the middle. My turn first. So I'm going to be a good sound detective. Which picture has A in the middle? Found it. Fish.
No.
Ish.
Yes.
Yes. Fish has A in the middle, right?
Oh, I think that.
Fish. Fish. So we're going to put it in our bag. Alright? Okay, let's work on the next one. So raise your hand if you know the next one, but I haven't said the sound yet, so how are you raising your hand?
I'd love to get your thoughts on the questions. Please enter them in the chat box. Here is my take on the clip. During the model portion, Florence actually sticks pretty closely to the activity as written, and she truly gets into character as a sound detective. Burst is pretty explicit. Every activity is designed not only for skills mastery, but also for student engagement. There are other ways to engage students for sure, but why not use those methods? Well, what's written in Burst is refined and has been proven over time, and you wouldn't need to invest time to think of other ways. Florence chooses to use what Burst provides her. She finds the activities engaging and chooses to make her life easy and rely on Burst. Let's move on to part 3, which is when Florence gives the first practice. Before I hit play, read the questions.
Okay, the next one I would like you to find, sound detectives, is the picture that has "aw" in the middle. So be a good sound detective and look around. Which one has "aw" in the middle? Lisa.
Dog.
Dog. That's right.
Take a moment to share your thoughts on the questions. Please enter them in the chat box. Here is my take on the clip. Florence calls on students only after posing the question and after giving all students wait time. By asking the question and waiting, she had all students thinking about what the answer might be. If she were to flip that order around and call on the student before asking the question, other students would have mentally checked out. By calling on the student after posing the question and waiting for an answer, all students get the opportunity to practice. Let's watch again, but this time, get your timer out to determine how much wait time Florence provides. Put your answer in the chat after we watch this video.
Okay, the next one I would like you to find, sound detectives, is the picture that has "aw" in the middle. So be a good sound detective and look around. Which one has "aw" in the middle? Lisa.
Dog.
Dog. That's right.
As you can see, Florence poses the question to all students. She waits for about 8.5 seconds, having all students think about the question before calling upon one student. The net result was that all students were compelled to flex their mental muscles and think of an answer. Let's move on to part 4, which is about corrective feedback. Before I hit play, read the questions.
Which picture has all in the middle? Emerge. Car. Say car. You're right. The sounds in car are k, r. And what sound did I ask for? All. Say all. All.
Car has
Say k, r.
R.
R. You hear all in R? Yeah. Nice try though. Do you want to try again?
I'd love to get your thoughts on the questions. Please enter them in your chat box. Here is my take on the clip. Florence doesn't provide the correct answer. Instead, she works with students to sound out the name for the object she picked and got the student to conclude that her choice did not actually have the middle sound she asked for. If you think about the dialogue that Florence has with the student in this clip, Florence first sounds out the word car and then breaks apart the sounds in the word car. She then asks the students what sound she asked for. The student says ah. Florence then asks the student to say car and asks if they hear the ah sound in car. The student says no. This approach gives the student a bit more of instruction and allows the student to see why her answer was not correct. Other students who are listening may have benefited as well. Let's move on to part 5, which is about using the support strategy offered in the activity. Before I hit play, read the following question.
Oh, let me try to help you out. Look at these two. Which one has the ah sound in the middle? What's the picture? So you use that one.
It's a pop.
Okay, so here, this is.
It's just a guess.
It's a guess. So let's not guess because we're trying to be sound detectives, right? And in detective, they're not trying to guess. They're trying to get the right one. So this is 6, and this is fox.
Fox.
Which one has ah in the middle?
Fox.
Fox. That's right. Thank you.
I can say.
Yeah, you can put it in the bag.
Take a moment to share your thoughts on the questions. Please enter them in the chat box. Here is my take on the clip. Florence follows the support strategy by taking the student's choices down to 2 cards. The student is struggling with this skill. It isn't yet automatic to her. So by cutting the card choices down to 2, she reduces the demand on the student's working memory and enables her to think just about 2 words. Cutting down to 2 cards is risky though, because students are able to be right 50% of the time without trying. So Florence tested whether it was a guess by asking the student what was in the picture and walked through segmenting the sounds in fox. Florence also discourages guessing, even when students guess correctly. Why would this be a good thing to do? Well, guessing isn't the application of the skills students are being called upon to use. And without application, students can't build muscle memory. Their time and their teacher's time is a waste. Florence realizes this and calls out the student in a nice way and has him try again. They know they can't get out of it with her. Let's move on to a different activity. In your handout, you should have a copy of an activity titled Walk It Out. This is probably the first time you have come across this activity, so let's take 3 minutes to read it. We are going to watch Florence deliver this lesson, but in these clips, Florence won't demonstrate as many of the look-fors. Instead, she'll fall short of many of them. Your job is to use the look-fors to critique her delivery of this activity and to spot where she could have done things better. We'll watch the full clip first, and as we watch, keep the activity and the look-fors handy.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for being such good listeners. So again, to recap the directions, remember we're going to take one step for each sound that we hear in the word, all right? So let's try one all together first. You guys ready? Okay, so let's walk it out for each sound that we hear in the word sun. Ready? How many steps?
3.
3. So how many sounds? 3 sounds. All right, let's go back.
Whoa.
Let's do one more together. Let's do the word fan. And
3.
how many sounds?
3.
3. What are the sounds, Sutini? Which sounds are they for fan? Perfect. All right. All right. Let me see who I'm going to give the next one to. Rolly. Can you step it out for the word can? I didn't hear the sounds. Can you say it one more? Can you come back and do it one more time? Thank you, Rolly. Thank you, girls, for being so quiet and letting Rolly say the sounds on his own. How many sounds were there?
3.
3, right. How about cub? What? How many sounds?
3.
3. How about doll? One more time? Should we do the steps? Sutini, thank you for being quiet and letting your friend Krisa step it out by herself. Can we make sure that we're quiet when Krisa steps it out? Can you come back and do doll for us? Thank you, Krisa. Come back. Do you want to step it out for nest? Okay. How many steps do you take? Do you want to try it one more time? Okay, come back over here
I think that's
and step it out for nest.
I think
How many sounds?
3.
Oh. What do you guys think?
4. Since the S and
Well, let's try it out. Show us. For nest. Next.
It's 3.
The word is nest. Let's work it out together. Come on.
So it's 4 because the SH the ST make.
Let's try it together. Ready? Let's try it together. Ready? And
4.
how many sounds?
4.
4. You want to try it one more time? The nest? Show us nest. How many sounds? 4. Can you step out, walk it out for nest? How many sounds? 4. That's right. How about you try held?
Stop.
How many sounds?
4.
4, nice, thank you. How about you try it out for mint? Mint. I'll try one more time. For mint. Well, let's give it a try first, okay? How many sounds? 4, that's right. I love how you self-corrected. Did you see what she did for mint? Show us what she did for mint. Mint. Who wants to show her one more time? I think you've already shown her. Why don't you, Krisa, show her what? Mint. Try one more time. How many sounds?
4.
You want to try mint one more time? Show us mint. I didn't hear the sound, huh?
Rolly.
Thank you. Rolly, how about you show us tub? Thank you, Rolly. How about you show us cell? Thank you. How about you show us sun? Sun.
Oh, I want to do shopping.
All right.
Yes.
Sutini, how about you show us Tom? Thank you. How about you show us shock?
Oh, we got a shopping.
How many sounds?
4.
Really? 3. That's right. All right. You guys did a great job.
Let's start with the model part of the activity. Before I hit play, read the questions.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for being such good listeners. So again, to recap the directions, remember we're going to take one step for each sound that we hear in the word, all right? So let's try one all together first. You guys ready? Okay, so let's walk it out for each sound that we hear in the word sun. Ready? How many steps?
3.
3. So how many sounds? 3 sounds. All right, let's go back.
Whoa.
Let's do one more together. Let's do the word fan. And
3.
how many sounds?
3.
3. What are the sounds, Sutini? Which sounds are they for fan? Perfect.
I'd love to get your thoughts on the questions. Please enter them in the chat box. Here's my take. What could Florence have done better? Well, she didn't technically model the activity, nor did she give students independent practice. She did a shared activity, a we do. Had she done an I do, students would have grasped it much more quickly, and she would not have had to do it twice, the second time with another word. Because there are only 12 words in the set, one student lost an independent practice opportunity as a result. Also, this isn't the right space for this activity. The room isn't really set up for this. The student on the left is not against the wall and has to look back, which can lead to disruptions. Florence could have moved the desk a bit or used a different part of the room. Let's move to the start of the practice part of the activity. Before I hit play, read the questions.
Let me see who I'm going to give the next one to. Rolly. Can you step it out for the word can? I didn't hear the sounds. Can you say it one more? Can you come back and do it one more time? Thank you, Rolly. Thank you, girls, for being so quiet and letting Rolly say the sounds on his own. How many sounds were there? Three.
I'd love to get your thoughts on the questions. Please enter them in the chat box. Florence called on a student before giving the word and waiting for all students to think of the answer. This caused the other students to check out and miss a mental at-bat. She could have said, "Our next word is blank. Think of how many sounds you hear in blank," and after waiting for 5 to 10 seconds, called on a student. Let's move to the middle and last part of the practice portion of this activity. Before I hit play, read the question.
That's right. How about you try held? How many sounds?
4.
4. Nice, thank you. How about you try it out for mint? Mint. Wanna try one more time? For mint. Well, let's give it a try first, okay? How many sounds? 4. That's right. I love how you self-corrected. Did you see what she did for mint? Show us what she did for mint. Mint. Who wants to show her one more time? I think you've already shown her. What? Krisa, show her what? Mint. Try it one more time. How many sounds?
4.
Do you want to try mint one more time? Show us mint. I didn't hear the sound, huh?
Rolly.
Thank you. Rolly, how about you show us tub? Thank you, Rolly. How about you show us cell? Thank you. How about you show us sun? Sun.
Shopping. I want to do shopping.
All right.
Yes.
Sutini, how about you show us Tom? Thank you. How about you show us shop?
You got like shopping.
How many sounds?
4.
Really? 3. That's right. All right. You guys did a great job.
Take a moment to share your thoughts on the questions. Please enter them in the chat box. Here's my take. Florence reverts to calling on students before giving the word and waiting for all students to think it through. It's clear that some students struggled with the sounds for the words. Why might that be? It might be because students aren't clear on what to do. Some are hopping it out, some are stepping it out, and some do 3 steps but 4 sounds, not seeing the connection between sounds and steps. Perhaps because there was no clear model up front for students to see what they were supposed to do. The big idea is that modeling is hugely important, no matter how simple the activity might appear to be. Maximizing all students' thinking is important as it helps them benefit from all the at-bats and helps them develop the skills at a much faster pace. As we wrap up, here are some key takeaways when it comes to teaching a burst lesson. First, stay close to the activity as written. It's easier to do and students find the activities engaging. But bring the activity to life. Get in the role and bring your passion into it. Maximize student thinking by posting the question and waiting before calling on students. That way, every student will mentally get every at-bat. And finally, when students are incorrect, use scaffolding questions to help them arrive at the correct answer. When it comes to suggested next steps, we encourage you to do the following. Start delivering burst lessons to your students. And find a buddy who can observe you using the look-fors and provide helpful feedback. As we wrap up, please help us get better by clicking this link in chat and provide us with your feedback. We look forward to hearing from you and thank you for participating.